morning. My name is Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. Well, I'll say the biggest challenge has been state capture, where you find that in a state like Lagos, the ruling party, instead of going and selling themselves to the electorate, coming to debates and engaging the electorate, they resort to planning violence against the very people that they aim to govern, right? And I feel that when a leadership resorts to planning violence against people that they want to govern, they have no intent of governing in the interest of the people, right? So I feel that, when you have a situation where, as opposed to going to a proper, you see, power comes either through the barrel of a gun or through the ballot box. We have to decide which one we are doing. There is a quasi sort of democracy we are running where you have people using violence, intimidation, and persuasion, which goes against democratic tenets, to get themselves into office. And you find people that use the barrel of a gun to get into office, they are dictators. They are not there for the interests of the people. They are there for themselves, for the most part. So, to my mind, I think that is the biggest challenge, because when you also then see that the police are turning a blind eye to these things, you can't really push to get real justice in the judiciary because the burden of the proof is on the petitioner, not INEC. INEC, which happens to have all the documentation and is supposed to be the umpire. It's supposed to come to court and justify why they announced a certain person, as opposed to the burden of proof being on the petitioner, who has to depend on INEC to get evidence that can be admitted. A change in Lagos is a state that uses the Commonwealth of Lagos for the betterment of its people. A change in Lagos is a Lagos where people have access to primary healthcare system and proper healthcare systems, right? In each locality, in each local government, you don't have to be going to different places to get quality healthcare, quality education for your children. Inner roads in local governments are done very well. You have a situation where you have the main roads that are going to local governments are done in certain instances. But when you go into those communities, it's like you're in a village, and Lagos is supposed to be a mega city, right? So these are things that need to change, and we have the resources. Lagos State has the resources. The problem is these resources are feeding a huge cabal as opposed to the interests of the people, right? So, and that's what I see changing, and having an accountable, transparent system, so that when at the end of the year, people can look and say, okay, this is how our money was spent. Because Lagos, unlike any other state, is always bragging about their IGR. That IGR is coming from people, workers, payee workers, VAT. It's us, it's human beings that contributed to this huge IGR. It's not coming from the air, it's not coming from inside the ground, right? So there should be significant social contract between the government and its people. And people should be able to see that our money is being spent transparently and judiciously. For us, that we own. They're not owned by any godfather. They're not even owned by their political party. They are owned by the people. Because if they mess up, people will remove them. That is the new evolution we must come to as a country. If not, things will continue to get worse and worse. Forget any story. My grandfather used to tell my father how Nigeria was better in his day. My grandmother never had to work a day in her life, and they lived well. My grandfather was a judge. He did not need to be corrupt to live well. He built house for each of his children, along with several other assets that he had, that he inherited. My father tell me that when they graduated that time, there used to be car that they can get. Cheap car. How much were cars that time? 400 naira, 2,000 naira. How much was school fees? That the driver's children will go to the same school as his Oga's children, because public schools were good. Everybody was happy sending their children public school. Is that the case today? Even the house girl is struggling. The lady in the house, the house help, is struggling to make sure that her children can go to private school, because they believe that's where good education is. So look at all the tension. When it's time to pay school fees, you see all their face will be strong. Right? So these are the things that need to change. Nigeria can work for us. Lagos can work for everybody. The money to make Lagos work for everybody is here. The problem is few people are stealing and using it for themselves alone and their family and their friends. One person, his wife is senator, his daughter is Iyalode, his son is doing all this. Like, no, we need leadership that work for us. And you will feel it. Nobody has to use propaganda for you to feel Alhaji Lateef Jakonde now. Nobody had to be telling, publishing news, oh, we are doing this. Oh, the government meant to talk about how we are going to start doing this. Oh, no. The talk they don't have to. You saw it in 4.5 years. Look at what he was able to achieve. Why? Because Chief Obafemi Awolowo was not demanding that he be giving him this money from IGR, this money from this. The development of Lagos was not tied to how people will chop money. That's why I could move. And that's where we need to be about the difficulty of the times that we are living in now. So our expectations and demands of each other must be measured because everybody is going through their own struggle right now. But I promise you that we are steadfast, we are hopeful, we are working very, very hard to make sure that what happened in 2023 never happens again. And by God's grace, we'll get a leadership that we deserve. God bless you. Thank you.